Well, good morning, fellow denizens of this digital life we live here in the internet. Good Tuesday. No, it's a Wednesday morning. Oh my goodness. That's right. Oh my goodness, it's Wednesday morning. That means that right after this vlog, we're going to be seeing episode 3 of the DIY Chameleon guys, and I'm excited for that. So if you're here in the chat, wonderful. Just stay there and you're going to be immediately sent over to the DIY Chameleon guys. I'm excited. I love that show. But this is a Wednesday. What's going on in the Chameleon Academy? Well, first of all, it's time to recheck what's going on with the brevicorn eggs. Let's make sure you guys can see that. So looks like they are, well, they're doing what they're always doing, hanging tight. I am hoping that they'll be hatching in the next 2-3 months. That would be amazing. And then you guys can see me raise up some baby brevicorns. So that's going to be my practice for the O'Shaughnessy, because this is Kaluma. They kind of come from the same conditions. And so this is actually my practice run for the shamrock chameleons. All right, and other news today, my wife loves me and brought me back an iced coffee from Starbucks. I know there's a lot of debate out there as to whether this constitutes as real coffee, but it makes me happy. So there's that. Anyway, okay, we need to get to business, right? We're serious chameleon people here, and that's what this vlog is all about. And I'm going to get more comments about needing a haircut. But we're going to be talking about screen cages versus hybrid cages. As many of you may know, I set up 2 cages over here, and I specifically set them up. You know what? I'm going to move over so they're in the background while we're talking about them. So what you have behind me are 2 cages. First, the most common screen cage, which is a Reptibreeze. And then a Dragonstrand hybrid cage, which is the original chameleon hybrid cage. And so the comparison is going to be, what is the difference between the 2? Although I have to say right off that I've already started hybridizing the Reptibreeze. And so if we go ahead and look on the side, and I'm going to go ahead and bring up the remote camera here. So over here, what I've done is I've put this window insulation. This is real life window insulation for real houses, and has double-sided sticky tape. You put this film on it, and then a hair dryer tightens it up. And what this does is it insulates this Reptibreeze. Not to heat, but if I turn on the mister there, you'll see that there will be water on the back. That is water that would have gone to and hit the wall, but it no longer hits the wall because I have this layer of plastic. I put this plastic on the sides and the back. Well, today I am going to be putting it also on the front. I'm going to show you me doing it. So I want to put this plastic over this door here, and actually part of the flip-up service door here. And what I am doing is I am restricting all of that airflow so I can actually use a fogger in here effectively. These are shamrock chameleons, and they like having humidity. I'm in an interesting place in California where if I have winds coming in from the west, it's cool, it's dreary, it's cloudy, it could be raining. But if the winds change, then they come from the east, they're coming in off the desert, and all of a sudden it gets dry, the humidity just plummets to single digits, and it can be very strange when the wind just shifts, and one day it's cool and dreary, and the next it's very dry and miserable. And so my indoor caging has to be able to deal with these conditions. And the most important thing for me is that I need humidity especially for the shamrocks. Panthers, veileds definitely will benefit, but for the shamrocks, they need it. So what I'm going to do is enclose this area so the fog can actually collect inside. I'm going to leave a little strip about 1 inch tall, not covered by the insulation, and that's going to provide more than enough ventilation for the chimney effect and for the air circulation. Now, that's something that I have to do on the Reptibreeze because it's a screen cage. The Dragonstrand hybrid cage, I don't have to do any of that. It just comes like that. Now, I may go a little bit further and actually close off part of this service door to increase the fog retention. I've been a cage manufacturer for over 10 years now, and every cage that you design, it is an exercise in figuring out what compromises are you going to make. This one design, you want it to be effective for the widest number of people as possible, but everybody lives in a situation where they have seasons. And me, I have, depending upon which way the wind blows, I have a completely different environment. So every cage design is a compromise of sorts, and the designer of the cage is just making decisions as to what do I want to do. So once you get a cage in, don't think that you can't modify it. You should modify it and make it perfect for your situation. It's not that the cage design was faulty or they messed up something. It's just that you're going to be customizing it for your particular situation. I mean, I designed the Dragonstrand cages, and now I'm talking about, well, you know what? I think I'm going to close in more of the bottom. But I wouldn't do that in production because this is a great compromise and it serves the greatest number of people for most of the time. Now, there's always the question, wait a minute, Bill, you are taking that cheap Reptibreeze and you're wrapping it in plastic and you put on the dragon ledges and and then, oh yeah, you got a drainage tray from Dragonstrand, so you added all this stuff on it. So why in the world would somebody pay for a hybrid cage? I mean, not only Dragonstrand, other hybrid cages, and they're more expensive. And the answer is because you really want to buy just a skeleton and then add on all of this stuff, or buy something that was designed specifically for that purpose. There's no right answer to that. You decide. But me, in my personal collection, I would rather spend the money and get a cage that was designed for my purpose. Now, what's the experience between having these two? Let's forget about how they look or how much they cost and that kind of stuff. The one thing that you'll notice that's really hard to see in here because of the light correction is that in the Reptibreeze, it's darker. And I know you don't see it. I'm going to go ahead and we'll get the cam here, the remote camera here, and I'll do the light correction. But it's darker inside of the Reptibreeze. And the reason is because inside of the Dragonstrand, you have all of these white walls that are reflecting the light. One of the biggest problems that we have had historically in chameleon cages is that they look like caves. They're very dark except for this little light bulb up top. That has been mitigated by more and more cages coming out with white walls. And so the light doesn't escape. It stays inside the cage. And our lights are getting better and better. I mean, we used to have like T12s, T8s. Now we have T5s, and now we have LEDs. And so not only are we keeping the light inside of the cage, but the lights are getting better. And so we're getting to the point where we can actually keep outdoor plants alive and flowering. And so, I mean, it's really fun being able to see the difference from when I started and where we are now. We've come so far, and it's so exciting. I actually got a passion flower to bloom in one of my hybrid cages. So anyway, if you look into the hybrid cage, you're going to notice that the chameleon actually looks darker. And the reason is, and sometimes it's harder to take photographs or videos inside the hybrid cage, it's because the walls are so bright. There's so much light coming off of them. That's good for the chameleon. That's great for the plants. It's not as good for photography. You need to twiddle the values inside your camera a little bit to get a really good shot. In the Reptibreeze here, it's a lot easier to get a good shot to see those colors of the chameleon because the background is darker. But that also means that you're losing a lot of light out of the sides of the cage. And so it's not as effective as far as husbandry I mean, it just looks better on camera. So that's your trade-off. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and put on this window insulation on the front of a Spearmint's cage and on the bottom here. And so you're going to be able to see how I do it. And if you haven't seen this done before, you're going to say, wow, that was easy. And that's exactly what I'd like you to say. So let's get to a little DIYing here.
A few moments later.
All right, folks, my sadness is immense. I went to go get my window insulation, and I have a whole lot of it right here. Except I found out that I was out of the double-side sticky tape. And so I am not going to be able to do this today. I'm going to order my new insulation, and it should be here within, well, let's figure out. Let's figure out. This is a vlog. This is a vlog. We do things in real time, right? And so I'm going to put a link down in the description. Insulation kit. And so you can go ahead and if you want to do this, you just do it with me and go ahead and order from the link that is going to be down there. I like the Duck brand. And so let's go ahead. I'm ordering this right now. Right now. You're seeing it right now. And it'll be here tomorrow, which means it'll probably end up in, we'll do this for Thursday's vlog. So yes, it should be here in time for that. So this is the Duck brand indoor 5-window shrink film insulator kit. And 62-inch by 210-inch. And that does a Reptibreeze pretty well. It's $12. So for $12, you can turn this into a hybrid cage. Now, remember, it doesn't insulate heat very well. It doesn't insulate heat at all. All it does is it blocks airflow, so it's going to block air conditioning and the draft from heating, but it's not going to keep heat inside from getting out. All it really does is it keeps the mist and fog from inside from getting out. So, and by the way, that's a huge thing, especially when you've got a screen cage Reptibreeze sitting in your living room and you want to use your misters. You don't want to spray down the wall behind it and get it all over the furniture that is around in the room. So this is one of the best accessories for a screen cage you can get. And just to let you know, if you do the sides and the back in this window insulation, but leave the front open, you have most of the ventilation. There's almost no difference between having a screen cage and having a screen cage with 3 sides solid. All right, folks. I acknowledge that was a little bit anticlimactic because you were all on the edge of your seat waiting to see me put plastic film on a cage. I promise you that's coming up as long as the delivery happens as it should. I can do that in tomorrow's vlog. So let's just enjoy that we had this time together. Look forward to tomorrow, and let's continue this party at the DIY Chameleon guys. For those in the chat, we're going there automatically. For those who are seeing this afterwards, there is an end screen link that you're able to press there. And for everybody, please take care of yourself, be excellent to each other, and I'll see you next time.